ahead and bring Jason in here in a second. But before we do and get started with a little bit of a state of the franchise breakdown, we'd like to remind everybody that For the Faithful, by the Faithful pre-launch sale is coming July 30th. Make sure you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop and get all the details. Also, go to SeatGiant.com, use your promo code NinerFaithfulRadio, all one word, to save on all theater, concert, and live sporting events. Make sure you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com to catch all our blogs and previous episodes of the show. Make sure to go to twitch.tv/NinerFaithfulRadio to catch us on all our live streams and follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram at NinerFaithfulRadio and on Twitter at NinerFaithfulR. With that being said, let's start the show.
Montana steps up, throws.
I like that beat. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring on the man with the master plan. Jason, what's cracking today, bruh?
What's up, man? My head was bobbing to the beat too.
Yeah, I know. It's just I just
Don't.
You know, I think I did. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm Mr. Dr. Dre or sometimes. But there's some beats that I've done in my life that I'm just looking at like, all right, this one slaps. And that's actually
That's not
one of
bad.
my favorite ones. Yeah, that one's actually one of my favorite ones. The one we do for the Faithful, by the Faithful commercials or ads. When we put music, that one is one of my favorite ones too. But anyway, that I've done. So real quick, we do just have a little bit of news. The Niners have released linebacker Nathan Gary. No big surprise. I think Jason and I, when we broke down linebackers, we both didn't have him making the team. So I think he was literally brought in for, camp legs to push people and, try to get the best out of Al Shire and Jabicus.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, we're all good. But we're gonna leave the breakdown of the Kyle Shanahan throw to Jamie for Good Morning Niner Empire. But it's to me it's very intriguing because you could definitely tell that Kyle Shanahan and Joe Saleh had more than just a simple player head coach relationship. I mean, they're sitting there literally. I mean, let's be real. Kyle Shanahan was hammered. He was clearly hammered in that video.
I feel this franchise does a lot of work trashed, like signing Trent Williams. Probably Juice.
Oh yeah. Oh,
everybody's Juice. Like, hey, you know what? Here's $50 million, man. We love you. That's what I see happening in the background.
I'm telling you. I am not very much surprised. I see that Juice even spoke about it. He's like, look, let's be real. He wasn't gonna, say it, but how many organizations will have your owner after you sign the extension? Your owner calls you shitface on his birthday. And it's not like awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Like, yeah, it's just Jed. And so, look, I mean, maybe you'll find some anti-jetters out there that will say that's unprofessional and whatever you want and everything. Me personally, I will, and we'll move on, after this, but I will say that, you know what, as a faithful whose only Christmas present was going to that Thanksgiving game at Levi's in 2014, and that was my first game at Levi's and the first Niner game that I went to that we lost. And I had to work like a crazy work schedule after that, for the next few days. I was not mad that Jed personally apologized after that Thanksgiving game. I was not. I felt like I actually really, as a fan, like I said, as a fan who spent my hard-earned money. I mean, that was my Christmas present that year. I got my girlfriend at the time gave me $100 and I spent 76. It was $176. I put in the 76, she put in the 100, and that was my Christmas present. So as a faithful who went through that, I'm glad Jed did that. I'm glad that Jed said, "Hey, look, I apologize, and this is not the standard I want my organization to operate at." Now, fine, he threw the head coach under the bus, but let's be real. It was clear that Harbaugh wasn't coming back after that. Jed had made up it was clear Harbaugh was coming back long before Jed sent those tweets on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was pretty much probably clear. I would say it wouldn't be surprised if Jed started to head down the road of deciding to let Harbaugh go on the plane ride back from Seattle after the NFC Championship game. That's probably, honestly, when the conversations of should we move on?
Didn't they talk about trading him? Didn't they talk about trading him to Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Indianapolis Colts, right?
It was Cleveland.
Was it Cleveland? Okay. I remember.
Yeah, we were going to trade him to
all
Cleveland.
those rumors. How much could they get for a trade for a coach and blah blah blah. I remember all that.
From what I heard, the deal was pretty much done and fell apart at the last minute. But from what I heard, like Jim Harbaugh was going to be traded to the Cleveland Browns, and it just fell apart at the last minute. So, yeah, the decision, the relationship between the Niners and Jim Harbaugh was fractured beyond repair well before those tweets were sent on Thanksgiving. Yeah. I find you could say that was Jed maybe being a little petty, or whatever. But to me, I like an owner that gets emotional about a fan. I like knowing that Jed's put some holes in walls, after some games. I like knowing that because that makes me feel my owner cares. Because I put holes in walls after games. And also it's two things that I'll give, and we'll get off the Jed York subject. But there's two things that I always will say about Jed is, like I said, I like, as a fan, I put holes in the wall. So I like an owner that knows that, because that means he cares. And you can't tell me that his uncle wasn't the same way. You can't tell me Eddie D's never put holes in walls. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that Eddie D never did that. So is that whatever, spoiled brat, whatever you want to say, born with a silver spoon in your mouth, whatever. But the thing about it is, I believe Jed was 34 when he took over the Niners, and I'm 35. So that means that Jed was a year younger than me when he took over the Niners. And even at 35, a year older than Jed was, I don't think I have the maturity right now to operate a multi-billion-dollar organization. I don't think I have a chance.
And the public head for criticism.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd be able to step in and take Jed York's job right now and be able to handle it, operate it, do what you want. The Niners are worth more money than now. Fine, you could argue about how they did it or whatever like that, but they got Levi's built. You feel me? Fine, you could argue about whether they should have built it in San Francisco. Well, hey, guess what? Last time I checked, San Francisco wasn't putting too hard of an effort to keep the Niners. You feel me? Let's be real. So say what you want, but that's fine. And it's easy to sit there and say, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The only 4 winning seasons since 2003. I'm going to put that in a little bit of perspective. That's the time I was 17 and a half years old to now at 35. That's that amount of time. That's pretty much my whole adult life. And, you're talking about 2003. Yeah, you're talking about my adult Niners. And so I it's easy to point to that and say 4 winning seasons. Yeah, but what are those 4 seasons been? NFC Championship game at least every time, and 2 Super Bowls. I really think the only reason that people are frowning and putting their nose down at the Niners is because if we walk away with a championship in Super Bowl 47 and or 54, all of a sudden that 4 winning seasons doesn't seem so bad. Hey, yeah, we've only had in 18 years, we've only had 4 winning seasons. Yeah, but we've gotten 2 championships. Cool. Name another team that's gotten 2 championships that's not the Patriots in 18 years. We did it yesterday on Faithful Talk. Brian and I went through, and in the 10-year period from Eli's first Super Bowl, the year they beat the undefeated Patriots, until I believe it was like 2016, and missed the playoffs 6 times
Mm-hmm.
in that 10-year span. But I bet you if you talk to any Giants fan, would you trade those Super Bowl? Man, nobody give a damn. If you tell me right now that in the next 10 years the Niners will win 2 championships, but will miss the playoffs 6 times, I'll take that in a heartbeat right now. Shoot that shit. Give me 2 championships.
I'd probably take that.
Yeah, obviously you would like more. You know, obviously you would like to think.
How bad are those 6 years?
4, 5. I mean, does it really matter? Okay. I'll give you this. I'll give you this. A lot of those years with New York did look like they were in the hunt for the playoffs and just missed it out by a game. There was a couple 9-7 seasons. I believe there was even one 10-6 season that they missed the playoffs. So, would I want the Niners to be 2-14 every one of those 6 years? No. You would hope that you would get some 8-8, some 9-7, some 10-6.
They can't. Nope. Now it's going to be 2-15.
2-15. Oh yeah. Sorry. 2-15. Correct.
So we got the new game this year.
Yeah.
So it's probably worse for me living up here in Seattle because I would just get berated if the Niners go 2-14. I just know the kind of harassment I'm going to take up here because I'm still going to talk shit, but I'm going to be harassed till the end of the day.
It's I mean. Okay, I'll put it to you this way: as much as this is how I've always felt about the whole Sheecock thing is. Look, have they ran the division? Yeah, I believe they're number 2 on that same list where we only had 4 winning seasons. I believe they're number 2 on that list with 14 winning seasons. Okay, so would I take their last 14? Would I take their results since 2003? One champion. They what? I don't know if that falls into when they made it with Holmgren. So I don't know if it's 1 championship, 1 loss, or 1 championship, 2 Super Bowl losses.
It's their flag, man. Just gotta remember that one. Their 12 flag.
That's what I always call them. That's what. No, I'm talking about in that since 2003. I don't know if they've been to 2 or 3. I think it might be.
Doesn't matter.
I think
it's still 1 and 2.
But the point of the matter is, well, I mean, that's why I don't call them the 12s. I call them the 1 and 2s. You feel me? I don't understand why the fuck you put your losing Super Bowl record on a flag. I literally don't understand that. But
you realize that's
not
the flag, right?
Of course. But that it's the simple. It's the reason why I have a T-shirt coming out and it has 1 Lombardi, so you can wear it for the Yams or the Sheecox. But it literally says it's simple math. 5 is greater than 1. Like it literally, it's just the T-shirt just says it's simple math. 5 is greater than 1. I don't. That to me that's very elementary. Each one of my kids can tell you that 5 is more than 2, or 1.
The dog knows more than that.
But the thing, so I give that credit to Jed, and you know what? There's a lot of owners out here that will take that rollover cap and put it in their pocket or whatever. But I've never felt that money was an issue with the Niners.
No.
It'd have been very easy. It'd have been very easy for Jed to simply say, hey, look, we got rid of Harbaugh. Okay, so you get Tom Sula. You fire him after 1 year. You still got to eat the rest of his contract. And then you go out, you hire Chip Kelly. And I want to say Chip Kelly was probably like a 3-year deal, a 4-year deal with Chip Kelly, I believe. And so it'd have been very easy for Jed just to sit there and say, look, I'm not eating 2 coaches' contracts while paying for a 3rd one. I'm just simply not going to do that. So we are going to stick with Chip Kelly just because I'm not going to eat that money. But he didn't. Jed said, "Hey, let's eat the money. Let's go ahead, eat the money. We'll get in the new regime here." And so you could criticize some of his decisions. You can criticize some of the things he said, whatever you want. But I don't believe Jed York is a hindrance to the Niners.
No,
I don't believe he's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones cost the Cowgirls championships. He is a bad owner. He
Probably
really
2 or
is.
3.
And so, So I would definitely say that you could have worse owners. Um, so moving on to the state of the franchise, like we said we are gonna do. Um, Jason and I pretty much we both said the same thing. We're actually kind of lightweight bored. Um, I mean, it's I don't know what it was. It just didn't seem as exciting. I mean, the jersey unveil. Jason, if you follow us on social media, Jason has let his opinions be very well known. I'm gonna say this: if I buy a jersey or ask for a jersey for Christmas or whatever this year, the reason I want one is strictly just a 75-year patch. Now, would I prefer it to be the throwback versus the normal jersey? I mean, okay, sure. I don't have a throwback jersey,
I
or
got
at least
3.
sure. I don't have one. Not that style. Not actually.
Yeah.
I have the '94 style. Like I have one from '94. I have a Jerry Rice throwback from '94.
Yeah.
But I don't have the newer version of it. So
technically, you just buy
sure.
a patch and put it on there, and nobody would know the difference.
No, yeah, of course, nobody would know the difference.
Yeah.
Would I go out if somebody right now said, "Hey, T, I'll get you a jersey. What do you want?" Yeah, I'd probably say a Bam Bam or a Kittle, throwback, red throwback. Yeah, but did I have to go to the store and did I have to go buy one? Or my life wasn't going to be complete? No. If I don't get one, am I going to melt into them? No. I mean, I'll put it to you this way: if y'all want to really know a little secret, I was more excited to get create the affiliate link so that we could sell the jerseys and make money off of people that buy the jerseys than I actually was for the real jersey to be released for purchasing purposes. I was excited for the jersey to be released for making money purposes, since we do make a commission off of every purchase that's made through our affiliate link. So I was more excited about that than the jersey. The not 49er Foundation thing. I mean, cool. It's good. Of course, it's good that the Niners do a lot of work in the community and everything like that. But, okay, awesome. The interview with Jed or Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. With Lynchahan. Okay, I mean, did they say anything earth-shattering? No. I was telling you earlier. I was telling you earlier. I mean, what's John Lynch supposed to say? Hey, you know what? It's my job to improve this football team every year. But no, we've gotten worse since we left the Super Bowl at the end of
I really
the
haven't done shit in 2 years.
Yeah. So, no, we're worse, to be quite honest. We've busted our ass. We've done all this, work and everything. No, I mean, what's Kyle Shanahan gonna say? They said both what I expected them to say. John Lynch is usually generally the more. Yep, John Lynch is usually the more optimistic one. Kyle Shanahan's the more of the type that you undersell and over deliver. So hey, yeah, I do believe we got better. We have an opportunity. Coach speak. And so
he's one level above Bill Belichick. Belichick would have been he's good. Kyle Shanahan, we got a little bit better. That's the only difference between the two of them.
Really, we have an opportunity, but we got to get to work and which is awesome, cool.
Yeah,
I will say that now the state of the franchises I've been in person, Kyle has actually really been nice, and kind of livening up. And for all we know, he's probably had a couple cocktails backstage. Probably. And that might be very well. This was done. I'm telling you, this was done. It was clearly pre-recorded. This was done right before. This was probably done right before they were getting, out for the summer. So they probably wanted to hurry up, get the hell out of there, and get their summer started. Versus when say the franchise usually is, it's so. They did not say anything that I know of as far as if you have to be vaccinated to attend practices, or they haven't said anything of that nature. That's really the news I'm waiting for. That's actually what I was excited to find out. because obviously I'm hoping that you don't have to be since your boy's not vaccinated. But
that's probably
you
going to come
know,
down to state law. So that depends on when it gets open and stuff like
I
that. So
probably
they
do.
probably don't even know.
I have a feeling what's going to happen is I have a feeling that you're going to either have to be vaccinated or come with a negative COVID test X amount of hours before.
And have to wear a mask.
Yeah, and have to wear a mask. I have a
Yeah.
feeling that that's pretty much what's gonna happen. They're either gonna say, "Hey, we have COVID tests available here," or you could bring one in from your physician or home test or whatever with
Yeah,
the
I can
results.
see that.
You feel me? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
Or
condition for
be
getting in.
vaccinated. Yeah, I have a feeling that's honestly that's what's gonna happen. So it looks like I'm having a lot of stuff shoved up my nose this year. Joy. But it wasn't nothing major, earth shattering from the state of the franchise. I mean, I thought it was funny that Fred, George, the People's tight end, Kittle Corn, was really trying to pump up Fred Warner, and Fred Warner wasn't having any of it. And I always thought that was interesting, and how I actually was kind of wondering because I noticed when Fred was talking about it, he goes, and I think it's very important that you had Fred Warner, the captain of the defense, and George Kittle, who, let's be real, is the face of the offense. Maybe not a couple years from now. No, you would think it would be Trey Lance, but for right now, George Kittle is the face of the offense. So I thought it was very funny that I was thinking too. I was like, when Fred Warner, when Bam Bam was speaking about the defense, I was like, no mention of Nick Bosa, right? And then George Kittle brought it up, and he goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're getting."
Oh, and by the way,
Fred's like, "Oh yeah, that too." Just a side note, number 97, NFL Rookie of the Year. Yeah, we're getting that guy back, but that to me, I'm almost more excited about that. It was like almost, oh, I almost forgot about Nick Bosa, because that tells me that the defense really is scary. If you can talk about how good the defense is going to be and forget to mention Nick Bosa, who, let's be real, is up there as best defensive player, that's going to say something. And yet again, fine, as a team captain, would you expect him to go out there and say, "Oh man, I don't know how we're going to survive without Defoe and
we're going to get
Javon
run on all day long"?
Yeah, and we don't even have a chance. We might as well not even. Of course not. I mean, you're not going to be Fred Warner is clearly an alpha male, and no alpha male is going to step out there and take that type of attitude. You're not an alpha male if you do. So,
and you notice the difference that Kittle's his enthusiasm never shuts off like 24/7. But you can tell that with Fred Warner, he likes leading on the field. He's not comfortable in that position in like interviews and out in the public. That's not his persona off the field kind of thing. But so that's why I think that's the reason. One of the reasons why like he forgot about Bosa is because he's probably a little nervous and he doesn't really want to do it. Whereas Kittle's just like, man, Kittle's just like go 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 go. I don't think he ever turns off.
Yeah. Oh no. Kittle never turns on. He's an Energizer Bunny. He never turns off.
Yeah.
But no, I think because let's be real, that personality of Bam Bam that you see on the field and at practice where he's jumping up and down and whoa and all that, it was Quan Alexander that brought that in out of him. That's not natural. That's not who Fred Warner is. George Kittle is who he is. That's how George Kittle is as a person. He's a high energy party animal. I mean, he even admitted when he first came to Iowa, and was at risk getting cut from the team and all, he was a party animal. That's just who George Kittle is as a person. Fred Warner on the football field is not who Fred Warner is as a person.
Yeah, he's more quiet.
Which I love, and everything like that, and that's fine. Be who you are. Ronnie Lott was like that. Ronnie Lott wasn't big for, look at me and he would do his interviews and everything like that. But Fred, Ronnie Lott was more of a quiet leader until you got him on the field, and then he became a complete psycho. but Ronnie Lott, quiet assassin. So to me, also, I think that it's a very good sign that the Niners had Fred Warner out there and they're engaged in contract negotiations. That's a very good sign to me because you're not going to put Fred Warner out there if you don't think he's long term. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to say this right now. It's just like Kittle last year. Look, I have zero concern that Fred Warner will not sign a long-term extension with the Niners. I have absolutely zero concern.
Nope.
None whatsoever. And you know what? Even if it gets into training camp and whether Bam Bam, boycotts or not, I'm not even worried then. Really, honestly, if you're going through not in the season, if the season ends and he hasn't signed an extension, then yeah, you might be worried here.
Then I'd be worried. But, I would be worried.
Yeah, but let's be real. It's going to come. It's going to come at the 11th hour because the Niners, the image of and Brian and I spoke a little bit about it yesterday on Faithful Talk. The image the Niners have right now of, look, do the right things and we'll take care of you, is at risk if they don't pray Fred Warner. If you're a player in that locker room and you say, wow, if Fred Warner can't be locked up and isn't, a person that the team takes care of and everything, then what am I? It was said with offense with George Kittle. And so it's going to get done because on an organizational aspect, this is the type of move that affects the organization. This isn't a default situation. This isn't one of the, we don't have the money. This is you say that you want to be a draft and develop football team. This is a player that you drafted, that you developed, that is a core. I would say the core of the defense is Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. The core of the offense is probably Trent Williams and George Kittle and Trey Lance going forward. So I have absolutely no concern. Jason, I'm pretty sure you have zilch concern.
The only way I see it turning into a problem is if for some reason when they go to negotiate, like Fred is asking for like mind-blowing money. Like I think you could probably argue, yes, he's our best linebacker in the league. Pay him as the best linebacker in the league.
Yeah.
But what if he's asking for like another $5-10 million on top of that? To where it's just like, why? You know what I mean? Like something like that. I mean, who knows what's going to happen between like him and his agent and all that kind of stuff. But that would be the only reason why I would think he doesn't get signed. Kind of like Kittle. Was it like hours before the first training camp opened when he signed?
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm hoping for.
I think it was night before.
The night before?
I think it was like night before, I believe.
So, yeah.
Like I believe he showed up, or it was a couple days. Yeah, but yeah, it was the 11th hour when the George Kittle contract got, and that's what I think, because what I think happened was I think George Kittle came down, and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, or it might have been just him and Kyle Shanahan, had a talk, and basically what I think that talk was what do you want, George? What do you fuck talking to your agent? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want, George? And that's when he said, I want money guaranteed for injury. I want to be able to play like a maniac. I want to, your shirt show the people, Jason. We want George Kittle playing like this. That's the George Kittle we want. And he goes, and I want to make sure that I can play like that and my family be secure. And what happened? The Niners gave him $40 million guaranteed and put in a trigger that says that we have to pick up the contract the year before. That year's contract, so he's not a rented player. Cool, awesome. So what's going to happen if it's the 11th hour? We're going to go to Fred Warner and we're going to say, Fred, you're a defensive captain. You're a foundation piece of this. We just saw which, by the way, congratulations, John Taylor and Mr. Patrick Willis, on your induction to the Edward J. DeBarlo Senior Hall of Fame. Well deserved. That was actually the dope part. That's probably the part. I'll get to that in a second. My bad. But he's a Patrick Willis-esque type player. I'm not saying at the level of Patrick Willis yet. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying he's that type of player. That the importance of the team. What do you want, Fred? We want you to be a Niner. You want to be a Niner. What do we got to give you? And Fred, it's like Eric Davis. Eric Davis talked about one of his first contract extensions with the Niners. They weren't going to sign him. Then in the middle of the season, they said, "What do you want?" He told them what he wanted. They gave him what he wanted. He signed the contract. They're like, "You could have been a free agent and get higher." And Eric Davis was like, "Why?" They gave me what I wanted. I told them, "You give me this, I will sign."
And I'll be happy.
And they gave it to me. Yeah, and I'll be happy. I think that if because it's and Fred Warner doesn't seem like an unreasonable person.
Yeah.
Let's be real. DeForest Buckner.
I want to see who's the highest now.
Yeah, DeForest Buckner. I believe it's Bobby Wagner. DeForest Buckner ultimately is not here because he wasn't willing to work with the Niners. I don't think that's a situation. I think that Fred Warner will do what's necessary for the team. And so no, I have zero concern that they don't sign Bam Bam. Like I said, if you want to talk about
swag,
how much a year?
18.
18. So Fred Warner walks in and saying he wants 25 to 27 million. Whoa. Slow your roll, Fred. Slow your roll.
How about
But if you
19?
want to start off at that's what I say. If you want to start off at 17 to 18, and fine, maybe it gets to 22, 23 later in the deal or whatever. I'm just saying, like, whatever. 19, fine, gets to 21, 20, 21-ish, later towards the end of the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20. I said 23. I mean, that is ridiculous, but I'm just saying. Obviously, we are going to
franchise quarterback money, man.
Yeah, I know, right? We're gonna backload this contract. Is basically what I'm trying to say. This contract's gonna be backloaded. That's fine.
And then there'll be an extension on top of it somewhere.
I don't think the Niners have done way too much of an effort repairing the image of the organization to allow a player of Fred Warner's magnitude to walk out the door in free agency.
Yeah.
It's just we don't want to be one of those organizations that you see that. Now, I think ultimately, historically, I believe besides I believe Solomon Thomas missed like a day. I don't believe it was any actual practice he missed. I believe it was more like conditioning drills and things of that nature that he missed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Solomon Thomas actually missed a practice, but I'm pretty sure he actually did not report on report day. The only contract for the draft pick I ever remember in my lifetime that I'm familiar with is Michael Crabtree.
Well, that's Crabtree.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember any real deep contract issues.
Here's the question: who gets signed first, Fred Warner extension or Trey Lance? What do you think comes first?
That's a good question. I would say Bam Bam.
Bam Bam?
Because I think because let's be real. What are they mostly negotiating with? I believe it's Thomas, Sermon, and Lance that aren't signed, right? I know it's Sermon and I know it's the two Treys, and then it's Thomas that isn't signed as well, right? But what they're really negotiating is offset because the rookie wage scale takes care of 99.9% of this. So you're talking about money up front and offset language is really what you're negotiating.
Yeah.
Domino to fall. that has to fall this year is Fred Warner's contract.
Trades is easy, I think, because he can only make so much. It's just
that's what I'm saying. So what are you really negotiating? Some offset language.
Yeah, you're moving a period and a decimal, or not a decimal, but a comma is all you're really doing with Trey.
Yeah, so it's all pretty much set up. So I say Bam Bam comes first because I think Bam Bam's more of a priority. Fine, obviously. What a little bit we'll get this into our season preview and our camp and a lot of other things that we're gonna do next month. But to me, this is Trey Sermon is a priority. I don't want to say that he's not, because let's be real, most of Trey Lance's reps, at least with the first team, are going to be coming in training camp. Once the season starts, Trey Lance is probably going to get very few reps with the first team, unless they're trying to make him the starter. Because at that point, it's not about Trey Lance's development. It's about getting Jimmy Garoppolo, who we both assume is going to be the starter. It's about getting Jimmy Garoppolo to go win on Sunday. It's not about Trey Lance's development. Because if it's about Trey Lance's development, then you might as well get rid of Jimmy and just start Trey. If your number one priority in practice is, hey, we want to get Trey Lance ready to play, well, then you might as well start it and just give him all the reps.
Yeah. You're not going to
look. So it is a priority, but if I'm Parag Marate and John Lynch and all them, I'm putting the ball in Trey's court and saying, hey, look, this is really ultimately up to you. We're okay with Jimmy Garoppolo starting this season. We're okay with you sitting on the bench. We came into this season. Whether you want to say it's the ideal was the team's plan, whether they really want to do it or not, you can't tell me that we didn't go into this season okay with Jimmy Garoppolo being our quarterback all season long. We were clearly trying to add to the quarterback room, but once it became clear that we weren't going to get Stafford, the Deshaun Watson stuff happened, things of that nature. As the offseason unfolded, it became clear that we were okay with keeping Jimmy Garoppolo on the stream. So if Trey Lance isn't there for the start of training camp, really he's only hurting himself. It's bad for the Niners overall, but as far as Rook, I mean, and I don't think that's what it's going to be. And that's why I'm not concerned. Because everything we've heard from Trey Lance is that he wants those reps. Yeah. That he's coming out here and saying that. So
no, we're talking about it because there's literally nothing else to talk about, right? We're doing doomsday for no reason, basically.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to July 6th. Get used to it. We're about this life for another 25 days, and at least until the week leading up to camp.
Every football team is going through this right now. There is nothing going on. This is a dead space between seasons. July sucks.
It's what I really tell people all the time. It's you find out who loves covering the Niners. You don't find that out August or end of July through February or even March, really. Even March. Really, you don't even really find out who loves football July, August through April, really. Honestly.
Yeah.
You find out who loves covering the Niners May through July. That's who you find out who loves covering the Niners.
Yeah.
September, August, end of July, beginning of August through the draft, it's easy to cover the teams. It's easy to cover the teams. I mean, you might get a little sick or tired of talking about the draft.
But you can change the draft 50 times.
Well, that and also the fact that it's because really the whole focus this year was the third overall pick.
Yeah, we could have done so much more.
Which was partly our fault because we decided what we want to talk about. But I mean, you had to. We're never probably going to get a chance like that in franchise history, at least not at a trade. I don't think so.
No.
That's probably the only time in our lifetime it's going to happen. But covering the team, the offs, that's easy. This is the time that does suck. because we're talking about a lot of what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda, what ifs.
We're bitching about the state of the franchise program.
Yeah, like let's be real. That the state of the franchise is something that you cover the night of. Just kind of like freshen your mind, cover the night up, real quick, half an hour show, and you're done. You're not covering it twice on the network with Jamie doing it on Good Morning Niner Empire and us doing it now. But
and
honestly,
the live
and the live one from Jason. Really, ultimately, I mean, you look at this. Next week's tight ends. The week after that is quarterbacks, and then the 27th is when we report to camp and do conditioning and all that.
To be honest, how far are we going to draw out the tight ends?
Yeah, I know.
Like we could probably go 15 minutes with George Kittle, and then everybody else in 5. I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Realistically,
no, but I mean, so it's gonna wrap up here pretty quick in our off season. So tight ends is next week. Week after that, it's quarterbacks, and then you're on to report day. So it's almost over. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's gonna get more.
It's gonna get more intense. You're gonna see a lot more broadcasts and everything like that. But we're honestly just trying to make it through and fulfill our Twitch requirements. One broadcast at a time, 1 hour at a time. You should have seen me on Sunday on Red and Gold Rewind. Ooh-wee.
I had you up. I was busy doing stuff, but I had you up on both my accounts.
Yeah,
I couldn't listen because I was busy doing other stuff. But I was like, I was struggling. I know he's up.
I was struggling. I was going through the 2011 season, and I'm just like, bro, like, get me through this hour, please, Lord Jesus. But I think that the state of the franchise is this. Kyle said you never want to go into year Super Bowl and bust and all that. I mean, honestly, are there reasons to be concerned about the team? Yes. But the state of the franchise is, if you look back at the first day of the franchise in 2017 to now 4 years later, I would believe about the ideals and the plans that they had and all the things they talked about wanting to do in 2017 at the first day of the franchise. You can now stay 4 years later, obviously, except putting number 6 in the trophy case. We've accomplished a lot of that, and regardless of whether we win the championship or not, you have a team that it would be a disappointment if they don't get in the dance. And when you get in the dance, you always have a shot. And so I'm happy with that. So am I pleased with the state of the franchise here July 6th, 2021 vis-a-vis July 6th, 2017? Hell yeah. I would say this. You can give them their faults. Clearly, the 2017 draft was a wash. All but George Kittle and DJ Jones. DJ Jones and George Kittle are essentially the ones saving the 2017 draft. And really, 2018 ain't looking all that hot either. So, but I think when you look at the state of the organization and you say, when you look at the state of the organization, that do I believe Lynch and Hand are the best to handle this? Yeah. I wouldn't. They have their faults clearly, sure, but the way I look at it is, who could you get that's better? I mean, I don't think that anybody that's available is better. And so I'm not saying I don't guarantee anything, but I believe since at least Jim Harbaugh, we have our best chance to bring home a championship. I feel that in my hearts of hearts.
The whole saying, especially when Kyle and Lynch
John
took over with the whole that's his name. When they first took over was the whole brick by brick thing.
Yes.
If everything was brick by brick, little by little, and if you looked over these
Yes,
years,
it was.
they've put a good foundation here. The foundation, everything was kind of screwed last year, but I'm almost willing to give 2020 and COVID and all that just what the hell? And the world turned inside out for a year, so you can almost just re-roll on that completely. And even then, it wasn't. Look at what they did with so little. We were in the playoffs until what, week 15 almost, where they had a chance.
I believe after the Buffalo game is when we officially got kicked out. After
It was
Buffalo,
like week 15, 14, when you only had, 30-40% of your starters playing. So even then, it shows an awesome job coaching and everything else. So, like I said, the brick by brick thing is there.
To go 6-10 with last year's roster, and I mean, you could let's be real again. It was Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, the quarterback position, was essentially the reason we went 6-10 last year. It's honest. It is. Nick Mullins cost us several games himself. Philadelphia, Dallas are just two off the top of my head that you could say. You could say the only game I really in that little stretch, obviously the Miami game and everything like that, but Buffalo was about the only game where you could say it seemed like we got hit by a buzzsaw, which I do believe, if not mistaken, lo and behold, happened to be the first week after we got freaking kicked out of our county, which, by the way, no team in the NFL had to do besides us.
Nope.
And so what
it
I
didn't
would
help
say
that Buffalo
is
was steamrolling everybody.
That too. And so, I mean, let's be real. They were a legit team. They were a legit team.
They were a damn good team.
And I believe if they're in the NFC, they would have probably had a better shot at making the Super Bowl. I believe simply the only reason they didn't make, one of the big reasons why they didn't make the Super Bowl last year, is they just simply were in the AFC and ran into the Chiefs. You feel me?
But they were beating the Chiefs though, so
yeah,
they could have won that game easily.
They could. Buffalo it seems to be, a team on the rise. Now go this year. I believe this will be the year that if they do it this year, you can start to say, okay, they might be in the conversation every year. Do it 2 years and do it consistently. But look, I believe this is the prove it year, because you could say, okay, 2017 is a wash. 2018, I'll even lightweight put 2018 as a wash, but you did see improvement. 2019, 2020. Now, to me, this is the point where it's okay. If it's this year, to me, it's if it's the injuries again, I'm not saying fire them, but there needs to be some questions asked, because it's okay. Well, at the end of the day,
you fire them
together.
You fire them.
Not after this year. Not after this year. But this is where you start to look and you're saying, okay, cool. We understand injuries. But it also gets to a point where it's, well, who keeps on signing these injured players? Sometimes eventually they always say shit rolls downhill. Well, eventually they're going to keep on who looks at who keeps on dumping it down. So, I don't think it's a roster issue. And so, sure, you could say Solomon Thomas was a mistake. This was a mistake. I might have Jamie do it here on the next couple episodes of Good Morning Niner Empire. But there was a podcast I watched where John Lynch, Haberman, and Middlecoff broke down John Lynch discussing the Reuben Foster signing. And I think what doesn't get talked about a lot is how much of a learning curve 2017 really was. And how much John Lynch really kind of had to learn in 2017. And he admitted, I made a mistake. I thought I could fix Reuben. I thought I could be, and he goes, and then you know what? I had to realize I'm not his teammate. I'm simply not in the role anymore to have the impact on him that I need to. I'm his general manager, not his teammate. And guess what? Sure, that sucked. Would you risk it was a first-round pick that we traded up for, and and should have been a foundation piece of the franchise, yeah, sure. Ideally, you would like it not to be that, but yeah, you know what? That's John Lynch learning his lesson, and I think that to me, the state of the franchise is in better hands than it was. And so, look, Kyle has his issues as head coach, and I'm the first to say if we have another season like last year of the injuries, then there needs to be some questions raised, especially if it's the same players over and over and over again. But
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I know we're repeating ourselves a lot and everything, but I can't think of a better condition of the franchise to be in. I will even say beyond Harbaugh, because let's be real. With Harbaugh, the state of the franchise was in a worse position because you always had to worry about waking up to having any one of your Pro Bowl defensive players be in jail. I mean, let's be real. That was a legit concern with Harbaugh. You literally every morning you had to check your phone to see if there was a Niner in jail. Like that wasn't something overblown. That was something that you had.
We were Miami from the mid '90s.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was a legit concern. And so we don't have that. And so I feel more secure as a fan that look, I'd rather win than win with class. You feel me? At this point, like I said, majority of my look, if you break into my life into two segments, my childhood and my adult life, obviously. Yeah, majority of my childhood, this team was the hottest team in football. Majority of my adult life, they've been garbage. That's literally. You could probably go back to what? So my whole lifetime, my time as a fan. So from January of 1989 to we'll say January of 2003 or January of 2004, right after the 2003 or right after the 2002 season. I believe this team only missed the playoffs 3 times. You feel me? 91, 99, and 2000. So I believe. So if you break it down, they literally only missed the play, and then they only made the playoffs 4 times my adult life. So I'd rather win, than win with class. But I definitely can say that for those who winning with class is important to, I'm not going to say every person on the Niners is a choir boy, but I feel confident thinking we don't have any rapists or women beaters on the team. We have somebody that at least isn't going to do the most vile crimes in our society. Sure, you might have some people that like to race cars. Sure, does George Kittle probably get a little too drunk sometimes? Oh, I bet. You feel me? Kittle probably is a wild boy. Is there some things that the team has to keep hushed up? I wouldn't say hushed up, but there are probably some things that the team wouldn't like to get out. And they probably do.
I'd be more worried about what Kinlaw's eating.
Yeah, he's
gonna eat something with rabies one day.
And I don't think that Javon Kinlaw will ever be posting any videos of him hunting squirrels. I believe that the Niner PR staff got to him real quick. And if I'm not mistaken, hasn't that post been deleted since then?
I don't know. I'm not even. I mean, but I'd be more worried about him with some of the things that he hunts and eats than what Kittle does. Honestly, you don't know what's been out in this forest.
It's but I think that we have the state of the franchise. We could be happy, and we could say we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah,
and say that and not to harp on Jed again, but if you were flying planes over the stadium in 2016, which fine, okay, yeah, he probably did deserve it. Fly those same planes over saying, hey, you know what? You made the right choice, Jed. And so we'll get it right. And I would put money down. If ultimately you could say, what's the ultimate test of the state of the franchise? I would feel comfortable putting my money down that the Niners would win the championship. By the time Kyle Shanahan's due another contract extension at the end of the 2025 season, I believe that within that time period, we'll win another contract. We'll win a Super Bowl.
Odds are
Same time.
the Niners have the best
Lance,
odds in the NFC West.
So Trey Lance will end his 5th year of his rookie contract, the same year Kyle Shanahan's due his contract extension. If you ask me, do I believe we'll win a championship within Trey Lance's rookie contract? Yeah, I do. I believe that's our best chance, honestly.
I put money on
that's really truthfully that's our best shot. Yeah. It gets harder. I'm not gonna say impossible. It gets harder once he's not on a rookie contract, because then we're gonna have to make some choices. I think we're gonna have to make some choices. Where do we continue to play Bosa and Fred Warner? We might have to make that choice. And George Kittle and Eric Armstead. We're gonna have to make that choice by then. But yeah, and I believe that there's nobody else in the NFL that could have brought us to this point. That where I say, hey, look, I'm willing to put some money down. Anybody want to make that bet with me? I'll believe by the end of the 2025 season that we've won at least one championship.
I got no problem. I would take that bet.
Yeah, I would take that bet too. And fine, if we don't make it, I'm going to point to legit reasons why, barring injuries. Injuries is about the only thing that I see why. That we're at least not in competition. Now,
when it comes down to injuries, we're doing the same issue again. That's still a whole nother problem.
Yeah. And then and even then, I know I came out here and said you start to ask some questions, but to me, yet again, the only reason I'm not screaming and hollering at Linchenhan is, well, this is clearly an issue that's happened, since we've gone to Levi Stadium. So let's not pretend that, nothing ever happened at Candlestick or no injury ever happened at Candlestick. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you tell me that this team's been the second most injured team in the NFL since they moved to Levi Stadium, let's fire John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, or the third training staff we've had in that time period. I would say, well, the problem is probably not Kyle Shanahan. The problem is not even about probably the training staff. My thing would be the problem would probably either be the players and you can't even say the players, because how much of the roster has turned over even since 2017?
Yep.
I believe Jimmy Ward's the only player on the team that's been on the Niners since 2014 is Jimmy Ward. So I don't even want to say it's the players. I would point more at Levi's than anything else. If you said what's the biggest issue with the Niner injuries, it's probably something to do with Levi Stadium. Maybe you should look into bringing some better grass or something. I don't know.
That's what you get when you build a stadium on an old school native burial site.
Probably. Look, honestly, if you told me if we didn't have 2019 and you told me let's say 2019 was 6-10 or whatever, right? You could probably start to convince me that maybe Levi Stadium is cursed. Right? If we didn't have 2019. But after 2019, I think you can now. Look, in the grand scheme of things, would it surprise me if Levi Stadium's cursed now? Honestly, it's not. But I'm not going to say that I believe it because I don't know. I just don't want to. Look, Grant Cohn said Grant Cohn said that he believes that they'll be back in San Francisco within the next 20 years. I'll put it to you this way. I won't put a time frame on it, but do I believe that the next 49er stadium will be built in the city of San Francisco? I do.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But
probably the only thing I'll ever agree with Grant Cohn on.
I want him on the show kind of bad because you know what? I may disagree with him a lot. And I do think, look, a lot of the times it's a stick, and I do believe what irritates me most about him, which I listen to his show a lot and everything. What irritates me is the joy he gets out of the Niners struggle.
Yeah.
You know, and what bugs me the most about it is you're somebody who admits that you grew up a Niner fan. Right? You know, he admits it. He grew up a Niner fan. So what bugs me the most is the joy that you get out of it. You know, that you almost that you take the negative side. That you go to Kyle Shanahan and you're almost like just I want to even say the negative. I just feel there's not a balance. Like I feel that I try to be a balance. So is it an embarrassment that we got fined in the NFL? Yeah. Really, honestly, I think Pete fucking Carroll's a little bitch ass snitch. You feel me? And we got violated for the same things that they did. And you cannot convince me that there's not an NFL team right now that wasn't doing bumper run coverage in rookie minicamp. You feel me?
But how many of them
So
posted
do
it,
I
though?
believe
That thing was posted everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And if you don't believe that Lenore got in trouble for that, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? He got some
He
shit.
might not have even known. He probably didn't even know being a rookie and all those kind of rules. He probably just like, oh, look at this, I'm cool. You know, look at my I'm being a beast over here. So
it was a dope look. Let's be real. I would have wanted to tweet it too. It's a dope rep. And look,
yeah,
you know, it was a great rep. And you know what? That's a confidence builder. That hey, obviously it wasn't like it was against Tebow or Brandon Ayuk, but we're both high, as you can on a rookie undrafted free agent. We're both pretty high on Austin Watkins Jr. Like I think he'll push for a roster spot this year. You know, so it's not like it was Brandon Ayuk. You know that he was locking down out there and everything like that. But yeah, so that's my issue with Grant Cohn. But I would love to go on his show. I watched his show. Would love to go on his show. And when I met him, I looked at him and I said, look, if somebody comes at me and says, hey, fuck, the Niners suck, I'll look at him and be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody wants to say, hey, I believe Kyle Shanahan is not a great, slightly overrated coach. He's bad at clock management. He's aggressive when he shouldn't be, and he's not aggressive enough when he shouldn't. And talk to me like that, those are legit concerns about Kyle Shanahan. I'll have that conversation with anybody. Me and Grant Cohn had it. I remember it was right before the home opener of 2019, and I said, "Look, if you tell me that the Niners that the Niners could lose the game, that's possible." I said, "If you tell me that we turned the ball over 5 times, which lo and behold we did, and still won." But I said, "Yeah, look, if the Niners go out tomorrow and they turn over the ball 5 times, yes, we will lose that football game. We didn't, but." I'm sorry, I would have believed that. I think anybody believes that.
I think any football game where one team is 5 over is going to lose. I would never bet on that.
Never. I would. That's 99.99 out of 100 times.
Like, just put it 100. Well,
game. Yeah, pretty much. That might be the only time in Niner history where you turn the ball over 5 times. And so, or no, I believe it was 3 times. I believe in that 81 championship. But anyway, the point of the matter is, and so that's my opinion about Grant Cohn. I looked at him, I said, you want to have a conversation, and you look at me, you say, hey, these are my problems with Kyle Shanahan, then I'll have that conversation. But if you just want to take the Grinch and be negative, I believe that's where he gets a lot of Niner fans. But we went ahead and we went a little over, which it's okay because right now it's better to go over than under. Jason, before we get out of here, go ahead and tell the people how they can subscribe to us on Twitch.
The best way is that most of you will probably have that Amazon Prime. If you use your Amazon, go on to Amazon Prime, click on the Amazon Gaming tab. You connect your Prime Gaming to your Twitch channel, and you can sub to anybody for free. Go ahead and use it on us, please. You can also just sub in, you can also subscribe in the old school way, where I think it's $2.99 right now because they're having a summer special on it. And there's 3 different. I think that's the lowest tier, but there's other tiers you can pay for. So, yeah, use that Amazon Prime. It's free for you. We get money in it and everything. And most of you probably already have Prime, and it's just sitting there not doing anything.
For real, that's my thing about it. If somebody tells you, "Hey, look, I'm just not comfortable giving somebody $2.99," I don't have $2.99 to give away, so fine, okay. But just to sit here and say, hey, I'm not using it on another, I'm not using it on somebody else.
Yeah,
Use it.
go ahead.
It's free. You got to do it every month, and it literally you're already paying for it, so might as well put it to use. And you know what? It's free for you. It helps out the show and helps us get better lighting. People they're like, oh, bring on Niners. Cool. Well, do you have a couple $100 that Jerry, a couple $1,000 that Jerry Rice wants to come on the podcast? Let's be real. I don't have a couple $1,000 to bring Jerry Rice on the podcast. So I would love to interview Jerry, but he wants a couple $1,000. Ronnie Lott wants $50,000. So, yeah, doing things like that, we would love to bring on Ronnie Lott. We would love to bring Jerry Rice, Steve Young, even Ian Williams back. So by subscribing on Twitch, that is one of the ways that you can help us. Another way you can help us is make sure you use our affiliate link that will be in the descriptions of these videos or podcasts. When you shop at shop49ers.com, just click on the affiliate link. Anything you buy on that page, we will get a small commission from, and it costs you no more money. For the Faithful, by the Faithful clothing line is coming July 30th. Our pre-launch sale, save 20% off of all of the designs. We're going to start roaring those out here in the next couple of days. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Jason does a great job holding it down. Make sure you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com when he's not banned. And that dude was an asshat. Make sure you go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com. Check out all the episodes of all our previous shows. Jason, I know you're probably setting up the raid right now.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and do it. Just give us a few moments. And then I will say while we're waiting for that, we're good to go?
Nope, go ahead. Do you think? I'm just...
Okay. Before we go ahead and while Jason's getting ready for that, I will say for Super Duper Moderator Kim, Jamie, Jason, Nate, and Jimmy, and myself, we'd like to thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Please give us a few minutes. We're rating.
I'm ready to go. Whatever.
Commercial. All right. Run the commercial, and then we'll raid, and then.
Yep.
All right. Cool. We're commercial.
Yeah.
All right. Did you 3 minute or 1 minute?
1:30.
1:30. Okay. All right. Oh shit. I'm gonna talk to Heather when we're done with this, so I'm gonna end it. I had nothing to discuss, so when we're done with this, bro, I'll get off.
Just text me if you need me.
And then we'll figure out. Yeah, I'll message you if I need anything. I'm gonna try to go down to the museum or something tomorrow to make up for Dylan's hour. So maybe I'll
go to the clothes. Go to the shop. Show what's
That's
new
what I'm
there.
thinking. I might go there. I'm pretty cool with one of the dudes that works there. So I'm be like, bro, can you just come on the show right now? Holla about some new gear that you have. Can you just like help me bullshit for an hour, please? And I might just go there like, bro, I need you to just help me bullshit for an hour. Like,
not even just
you know
do 20 minutes and you're good.
I think it's. I'll figure out how much you fucking need. God, I really wish this nigga could have. Fuck, I'm not mad that he's not sticking through the season. What makes me mad is he didn't stick through fucking 3 months.
Yeah.
We're done?
5.
Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we hosted, Jason?
I can start the raid now. We are going to go to Beat Us Football. Right now, he is playing as the Niners against the Ravens.
All right, cool. Well, let me know where we'll do that. We'll slap the and then
we'll
do the outro video.
Steps up, throws.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners. See ya.